Hello everyone, welcome back to the Addicted Book Run, where my addictions all over the internet. On this channel do book hauls, book reviews, both digital and physical, and so much more. So I know that this is June, and it might appear to be a little too early to talk about next year, but it's coming. We can hide under a rock all we want, but it's coming. This month, Amazon is going to be allowing people to buy their 2026 calendars, and I'm buying a different planner than the one I got and everything because I like the larger sections. So there's going to be, it's coming. 2026 is coming and everything. There's nothing we can do about it. Nothing at all. So, this year, I set my goal to 300 books, and I'm currently at about 185 books. 185 books. And so, what I was doing was I was thinking about next year, and it's like, it'll be a new reading challenge and everything. And I decided that I am not going to read 300 books next year. This was just to see if I could, and everything. Because I feel like that I am so obsessed over, like, the next thing. So, 185 books, and this is only June, is amazing in itself. But I don't want to be reading 300 books again next year. So I have decided to really, really lower how many books that I will be reading in 1 year. And I got to take into consideration that I'm going to constantly want to read the next book. I picked up from the library the fourth Thursday Murder Club. I picked up another book. So I'm reading those. Those are ebooks. I got them from the library. So I have decided that next year I'm going to work on only 20 books. Now, there's a point to make in doing this. So, yes, this year I only did to see if I could. And I'm not going to be upset if I can't make the amount. And I will say that it looks like, especially when I hit 200 books, that I will set a course to actually be able to read that many books. But the reason that I'm not doing that next year is that I feel like that I'm not enjoying the process of reading the book. I'm more into worrying about numbers and all this stuff. And I will say, for people that are absolutely obsessed over how many books they can read in 1 month, and they're kind of like, well, you read about 20 books in 1 month, and that's because a vast majority of them was on my Kindle and on the Nook, and I read pretty quickly with those books. I will tell you, I am a fast reader when it comes to those books, because I feel like that I absorb the information a lot quicker than I would if I was just doing them physically. But people have to understand is that reading should not be a chore or should not be a competition. Oh, how many books can I read in 1 month? No, you're supposed to sit there and enjoy the book. But sit there and enjoy the book, enjoy the experience of reading that book. I am just like, I take my e-readers to work. I go and I read them during my breaks. In fact, when I'm heading off to the break room, I go to the women's bathroom, I turn my reader on, and then I go to the nearest break room, and I will sit there and I will read my book for about 10 minutes, and then I will turn it off and head back to work. My 30-minute break, I read my book for about 20 minutes, and then I come back to work. I make it a point to turn this into a competition, because when I hit 175 books, I was like, okay, now I can take my time reading these books, because I've got all this year ahead of me, and I'm finding that I'm still finishing the books faster than I thought I was going to. Like, what is it? The first book in the series where this woman dies of carbon monoxide poisoning. She has to solve her own murder, and which was really good. And I ended up getting the 2 other books. There's a total of 5 books so far in the series. I went ahead on the 4th, and I got the last 2 books on Nook. And now I have all the books, and I sit there and I read these books. But it's like, the huge thing is, like, I have like 5 breaks, like total 6. Well, I have 6 breaks total, especially if I'm working until like 11 o'clock. I have a total of 6 breaks. I go sit there, unwind for about 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and I will enjoy my book. And to me, that's like really super important, to be able to sit down there and enjoy that book. But I think that with like people, they go and they're just pushing themselves and pushing themselves and pushing themselves, and they're like, oh, I need to read this. No, you don't need to read that many books. I bought a shit ton of books in the horror section, because I am personally addicted to horror. I love horror. Horror is my jam. I read horror. But am I going to hurry up and try to read all those books? No, I'm not going to. I check out library books, because that's my jam. I like library books. But people, it really agitates me when people on Book Talk or whatever goes and says, oh, looky how many books I have. And I'm like, okay, that's all fine and dandy. But even if I didn't buy any more books with like my next paycheck coming up, I'm going to have enough books to at least do me until the end of the year. And I am totally fine with that. I am not, next year, it's not going to be a competition. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And I actually shocked myself and be like, yeah, I'm at 185 books. And to me, that is amazing. That's like mind-boggling. And I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud that I actually sat down and read that many books. I'm so happy that I'm in a job where I get multiple breaks and I can sit there and I can read my book. So it is a blessing to be able to sit down and spend 10 minutes or 20 minutes reading a book, or maybe like a little bit over an hour to read a book that I am excited about, and then I go into a review of it here and on Goodreads. I'm not trying to make this a big competition. But yes, I am starting to slow down on my book reading, because I have, I'm still working on my horror book. I am still, I'm still working. I get dead tired. I want to just crawl into bed and die. But this is how I look at it. If I only read 1 book or 2 books that entire week, I am totally happy with it. I'm not going to get obsessed over, oh, I didn't read 25 books in 1 month. And I think that's the problem with like what's going on in the book community, is there's always this competition to outdo the next person, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And even if one day I wake up and there's no more TikTok or there's no more book talk, I am not going to be upset that it is gone, because it has created this environment of competition. Oh, everybody wants to be like their favorite TikTokers. I'm very blessed and very fortunate to have a beyond excellent paying job. I am so blessed. And what do I do when I get my money? I pay whatever bills I've got to pay. I make sure there's food in the house. And then I go and buy my books. But I buy a certain amount so I have money left over so that I can take the Lyft or Uber home. That is just like what I want to do. That's how I want to spend my time and spend my money. But anyways, I am going to end it here. I know this has been talked about a lot on BookTube because of how bad it has gotten. It has gotten so bad. And I will admit that a lot of the books I read, they're like 122 pages. That is the author's prerogative, not mine. But yeah. So I'm going to end it here, and I will see you guys next time.